This copy of Pokemon FireRed I got on September 9th, 2004, was the second game I ever pre-ordered, the first being Pokemon Colosseum, for pretty obvious reasons. When I got home from school, I was surprised with the game, this little trainer booklet, and the Nintendo Power official strategy guide, which has this interesting little page about secrets, talking about specially colored Pokemon down at the bottom of the page. At this point, 9-year-old me only understood that some Pokemon could be a different color sometimes. In fact, the strategy guide just says if you keep playing for a long time, you might find one. I thought these were the only 4 different colored Pokemon in the game, and despite playing for a very long time, building my first truly balanced team to beat the game, and completing the Pokédex for the very first time, I never found one of them. It would be another year before I understood that every Pokemon had a shiny and that it was pure random chance if you would find one or not. But I still wouldn't find my first shiny in FireRed until 2014, almost 10 years later.
Oh my gosh!
I've found many shinies in these games in the 12 years since then, and when I learned I could pre-order these games again in 2026 to play them on the Switch, I knew I was going to find even more. The sense of wonder I had looking for those special colored Pokemon is something that I'll always attach to these games, so I need to do a playthrough that honors that. My name is Matt, but you can call me Absol, and I'm about to play in the Kanto region for a long time, and find one of these specially colored 1 in 8192 shiny Pokemon before every badge, on what's commonly known as a badge quest. I will have 5 files competing against each other, and by the end of the game, whichever file finds the most shinies gets to take on the Pokemon League with the all-star team of shinies. So grab your own Pokemon games or something, and I hope you enjoy my FireRed LeafGreen Badge Quest Race movie. How is this real? First, I guess let's address the Indian elephant that Raichu can shock in the room. I am actually going to be on 5 switches for this. I've gotten so many questions about the setup, so let's talk about it for a second. Attached to each of these switches, I have the Smash for Wii U GameCube controller adapter, and in each of these adapters, I have a Wavebird adapter, which works with this old official Nintendo wireless GameCube controller to allow me to control all 5 games at the exact same time. So it's super comfortable. And as much as I enjoy recording myself playing the Game Boy SP like a piano, I don't think this is gonna work out very well with this badge quest on the Switch, so I will be resorting to using capture cards. I also did buy the game on every Switch individually, including these foreign language ones where I had to have Nintendo accounts set to the specific regions, which was kind of a weird pain. But overall, that was still cheaper than buying one English copy of the game on GBA. So it wasn't a huge money sink or anything. On February 27th, 2026, the true 30th anniversary of Red and Green and Pokemon Day, after watching the Pokemon Presents and learning I would sadly not be able to showcase my shinies in Pokemon XD, I kicked things off immediately after with a ritual that most shiny hunters will one day come to embrace as both a gift and a curse. Resetting for cool trainer IDs. 359? That's Absol's Dex number, and that's a palindrome. That's Piplup's number, right? 393? 33558, that has doubles in it. After an hour of getting some cool looking IDs, it was time to start the first hunt. And of course, the first one I'm going to hunt is going to be my starter Pokemon, or first partner Pokemon if you're being held at water gun point by the Pokemon Company. My favorite of the Kanto trio is actually Bulbasaur, but I already shiny hunted it in 2021, doing a bit of a starter roulette, and I've got a little bit more history with a different starter, Charmander. My first playthrough of FireRed, I had a Charizard named Cole, and after I traded it to XD and my GameCube memory card got corrupted from presumably sitting in my Wii for too long, I thought I had lost it, until I was able to recover that Charizard back in 2018. I'm pretty sentimental about it still, and I wanted to save shiny hunting this Charmander for something special in FireRed or LeafGreen, and that day had finally come. Say whatever you will about Charizard being overused for marketing, but I think it's for a good reason. I will never not call Charizard cool, and it has one of the best shinies of all time. So I started resetting for it, really enjoying being able to press A, B, X, and Y to soft reset, And interestingly, not seeing the white flash that normally happens when you soft reset these games on original hardware. I spent almost my entire Pokemon day doing this shiny hunt, hoping I could get a shiny on such a special anniversary. How'd I break my wrist in 3rd grade? I was playing hide and seek. It was a hide and seek injury. I was on this playground. Well, not really not a playground, it was more like a field. And I was running down a hill to hide. And I fell. And my wrist landed like this. It was actually my right wrist. It landed like this on like a PVC pipe. And I fractured my radius. Needless to say, they found me. Yeah, imagine playing hide and seek and some kid breaks his wrist and now you gotta stop playing. Lamest kid ever, dude. Level 54 for Sporf, Breloom before Badge 1. It's probably not all that useful for catching purposes, but it would be a funny grind. Yeah, the different language versions of FireRed, LeafGreen can trade with each other, no problem. Shiny Charmander! Shiny Charmander! And it's adamant! Yo! 2830! Nice! Oh, that's sick! Oh my gosh! On Pokemon Day! 2,830, first of the badge quest! Dude. I'm a salva the game right here. It's on the file that has 1 hour and 19 minutes. It's on the file with the Servine ID. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Shiny Charmander. That's so sick. Look at that FireRed LeafGreen summary screen. The fact that it gets the teal around the border there. Sadly, we can't name this thing until Lavender Town. But the badge quest has begun. Now, let's play 5 games at the same time. Rival Green would like to battle. Shiny Charmander. Oh no, bottom right game lost. We're about to get trash talked.
Yeah, am I great or what?
It also turns out that this Charmander might have the highest possible attack stat in Generation 3, and I didn't want to squander that opportunity. So after I delivered Oak's parcel, got my Pokédex, and got this weird TV that I might do something cursed with later, I decided I'd max out my attack stat by training off of the Mankey to the west of Viridian City. I had a little counter going for the number of Mankey I knocked out, and once I hit 252, I would fight Brock. And then we could hunt for our next shiny. And also... Shiny Rattata! Shiny Rattata! Shiny Rattata! What? What? Are you kidding me? On the Italian game! Italian Shiny Rattata! 2 in 1 day! I was just EV training my Charmander! We caught it! And look, we still get the Mankey attack EV! What's the Italian word for rat? Ratto. Ratto. It's Secura! That's bold. Interesting. Shiny Rattata. That is so cool! That's my first shiny Cantonian rat. And it looks great. It looks really good. The next day, I woke up and stared at my shinies in utter disbelief that I got 2 in 1 day on Pokemon Day, and more importantly, that they were on the Nintendo Switch. I still can't get over the fact that I'm looking at this and this is real. I went on a little victory lap doing Go Tour Kalos, and I found my Charmander again despite it not being a Gen 6 Pokemon. And then I spent some quality time with my rat, catching it up to speed, before I sat down and finished all the EV training, which took a couple hours. I watched a few panels from some of the old dub cast of Pokemon, and it was really interesting hearing their insight on a lot of it. 252. We have effectively gotten the max attack EVs on this Charmander now, which means we are ready to take on Brock. Let's Brock it! I believe in the rat. The rat can do this. I think I gotta quick attack it. My final turn. Ooh, no, 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 no. Come on, rat. Come on, rat! Oh, 1 HP? 1 HP? Ratto! Ratto! Medaglia Sasso! 2 games got on the board this time, and with the next badge, there will be at least 2 more opportunities for another point. Oh, this is huge. First evolution of the challenge. And you know what? I guess I'm gonna let Charmander evolve now, too. Look at that! That is so red! Red rat! We get to show it off versus the greatest trainer ever. Hi! I like shorts! I do too! Shorts! Comfy and easy to wear! Shout out to Youngster Ben. And Shiny Raticate. Wow, that is saturated. Okay, we're about to get an awesome Charmeleon comparison. That looks awesome. Dude, look at the flame again. Yeah, that is cool. Because next badge, we're gonna do something special in addition to a shiny hunt.
Level 100. The pinnacle of power for a Pokemon. Very few Pokemon ever reach this level. This is a series of videos in which I push Pokemon's levels to the absolute limit by raising them to 100 in unconventional ways and environments. Because, more or less, I'm crazy. I really hope you enjoy.
Our journey's gonna take us to the cliffs of Route 5, the location on one of my favorite recent Pokemon cards, where I'm going to catch 30 Meowth for some pickup grinding. And I had to name my 30 cats after one of my favorite iterations of Meowth in history. Team Rocket's Meowth side gig being a news reporter in the old GameCube game Pokemon Channel.
I'm here on the scene. I see. And there you have it. That ends my report from the scene.
I also named some after the late great legends who brought Team Rocket to life. We're doing this because in FireRed, LeafGreen, this is the earliest you can get a Pokemon with the ability Pickup. And I'm not talking about the truck. With this ability, after every battle, we have a 10% chance of picking up a new item. And if you've seen any of my previous level 100 gauntlets, you know just how good this can be for getting rare candies to get a Pokemon to level 100 super early. FireRed LeafGreen's pickup table's pretty interesting, mostly prioritizing berries. But these were the last games released where the level of the pickup Pokemon does not matter, so we always have a 5% chance of getting a rare candy. A lot of our success in this gauntlet is going to rely on how lucky we are to hit this 5% chance, and across 5 games, I was curious to see which one would hit level 100 first. Whichever one does, I will reward 1 extra point for the Shiny Hall of Fame. And I was also curious to see what would happen first, finding a shiny before Misty, or reaching level 100 using pickup. Either way, both of them are going to happen before we get this second badge. On March 1st, after a little brunch with Goji and his wife, Steve, I went live, ready to do some gaming. And let's get going. You missed me out on the shirt, can I show it again? No! I will not show you my shirt! Not in a million years! Get lost, I will never show you my shirt! Not in a million years will I show you my shirt! Not in a million zillion years! I think we're gonna start things out here. This is not ideally where I want to be shiny hunting, but the Pokemon are a little bit lower level here, so our Meowth stands a little bit more of a chance fighting these rats. Without being able to go back to the super early game routes before Misty, it's a bit of an uphill battle at first, battling against these wild Pokemon, with frequent trips to the Pokemon Center, or these old people's house that I kept accidentally walking in instead. I'm so sorry to this old couple. The candy count stayed pretty even until the Italian game took a pretty hefty lead. Another Italian rare candy! Oh, another rare candy in Italy. And gathering items isn't the only thing Meowth is good for. Payday! Payday on the bottom left! With the move Payday, we'll be able to make a constant stream of money just from knocking out wild Pokemon. How's the hunting going? It's going pretty well. We're grinding up these cats. And I don't mean like, I mean we're level grinding to make these cats stronger. I'm not actually physically grinding cats. That would be morbid. I would never do such a thing. Eventually I moved to Route 24 and Route 25, where there were a lot of weaker Pokemon like Caterpie that were easy for my Meowth to knock out. But there's also Abra. Am I going to poop my pants when I find a shiny Abra? No. I feel like I've got the control to make that not happen. Finding a shiny Abra here would be scary, because my Meowth don't have anything to keep it in battle from teleporting away first turn. We only have Pokeballs, and we don't get anything better from pickup in this game, and we only have a 29% chance of catching an Abra in every Pokeball. But it's only a 15% encounter. There's no way that a shiny Abra could possibly... Shiny Abra! Shiny Abra! Do we catch it though? Do we catch it though? Uh-oh. This is scary. This is so scary. We're just gonna toss a ball. Let's see if we catch it. It's gone. It fled. Happy Safari Week. Oh, man. That is crazy. We caught a Weedle and an Oddish, though. Abra. Technically, we found a shiny before getting to level 100. But can we capture a shiny before getting to level 100? I tell you what, this is the easiest reclaim in the entire game. The Game Corner Abra hunt goes so fast. More Meowth gaming today. Uh-oh, the time is red now. We're not on world record pace. Eventually, I migrated down south to Route 5, where we could find Meowth and had no risk of failing another Abra, and I decided that at 20 rare candies on every game, we would reward ourselves by going to Vermilion City, where we could enter the Diglett's Tunnel. I'm preventing these Meowth from evolving, by the way, because they lose the pickup ability upon evolution into Persian. The Japanese game was lagging super behind. Can I show my shirt? No! I will not show you my shirt! That definitely does not have all 3 Meowth on it. I will never show you my shirt! I ended my day by entering Diglett's Cave, where we have a nice 5% chance of finding a wild Dugtrio, which will net us a lot of experience. After another 8 hours of streaming, I was exhausted, and the Italian game had pulled so far ahead of the Japanese game, which was in last place. The next stream on March 3rd was sure to be the last, unless, of course, some pesky plumbers showed up. Dang, today's a crazy birthday. Oh, someone's at the door. Hold on, I'll be right back. And started drilling holes in the wall to fix your shower, so you had to go offline for a bit and then go live again. Am I still sensitive about my shirts? As if, in your dreams, kid, that I'd ever wear another shirt that has a Meowth on it. Like, dream on! Yeah, no way you can make a realistic dream that I'm gonna wear a shirt 3 days in a row with Meowth on it. And you know, it would be even crazier if I had another article of clothing with Meowth on it. They say dreams come true. Keep dreaming, kid. I like Utao Tato more than Synth V. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I love all the Synth V songs we've been getting in the renaissance of things recently. But the classic Utao, like, robotic style is something that, like, I've always enjoyed a lot more. It feels like there's more, like, personality to the tuning and stuff a lot of the time with it. Yeah, Birdbrain has a lot of personality. There's still a lot of really good ones out there and stuff. Yeah, Jamie P does get... Shiny Dugtrio! What? Shiny Dugtrio on the Italian game! Oh my gosh! That is insane! Oh my gosh. 7% chance per ball here. Same game as the rat, yeah. 3,925 encounters. Let's just throw a ball. We don't want to white out to this thing. What game got the Abra? The bottom left. Second ball! Let's go! Let's go! Okay. I was worried of a team whiteout. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was so worried about a team whiteout. This is the shiny before Misty for the badge quest. Name it Jamie Page. I can't believe we actually found a shiny before level 100. That was a 5% Dugtrio. That is insane. If it was level 31, that would be the 1%, yeah. Normal Meowth here on the scene, and... Look at that. We don't even see the nose. Stiva. Mamma mia. It's lonely. But not anymore, because there are 3 of them. How can they get lonely? And now that we didn't have to necessarily be doing exclusively random encounters to see what would happen first, I could talk to this lady in the Vermilion City Pokemon Center to get the Versus Seeker, which lets us rematch trainers, who give us a little bit more EXP than the wild Pokemon. It was then a race to the finish. Things got incredibly close. People had placed their bets on the Italian game to be the first to finish since it was always in first place. But that had recently changed with the candy tally. But would it pull through in the end? I think this will probably be the final battle here. Unless this Oddish doesn't give a lot of EXP here. There we go. Level 55 for this Meowth. Which means here, and the top left game, will be the one to hit level 100. Then it was time for the victory lap. Mashing the A button and the B button to keep feeding candies to this Meowth and preventing it from evolving because we don't have access to the Everstone yet. Until... Here we go. Here we go. Here was elevated to level 100. We've reached it. After 19 hours and 45 minutes, the pinnacle of power for a Meowth. Level 100 Meowth. And there you have it. That ends my report from the scene. Okay, this is stupid. I just looked at this thing's stats. We might have another 31 attack IV on our hands here. I gotta EV train this again, I guess. So I'll do that while EV training myself on the exercise bike. And also I have enough hidden power TMs to check the type of that on every Pokemon we get from here on out. Alright, hidden power. Oh, it's gotta be fighting. It's fighting type. It's super effective on Meowth. Alright, Misty time. After a journey that felt all over the place, where I found 2 shinies before even getting a Pokemon to level 100, including possibly the rarest shiny I found on this whole quest with the 5% Doug trio, I took down Misty, who was no problem at all after our rigorous training. The 2 games in the lead managed to keep their lead, while the bottom left game got a pity point for the Abra. Fail. But that's okay, because next badge we will be failing a shiny on purpose before actually getting something. For this one, we'll be looking for a shiny you can only find in FireRed and LeafGreen. Sort of. The Ghost of Marowak. And I say sort of, because in Alola we've got Alolan Marowak, which is part Ghost type. I first learned about this hunt in 2020 when I saw Bottle Rocket 11 do it, and I thought it would be the perfect little pit stop along the way here to get an extra point on the board for one of the games. But there's one catch. And that catch is that we can't catch this. But narratively, this encounter is so interesting and important that spending some time trying to see it shiny would be a good reminder of what it's really supposed to be about. I feel like the greater Pokemon community has become so desensitized to the story of Kanto going on that I feel like we've forgotten that we're supposed to feel conviction with this battle. This is the ghost of a Marowak that died protecting its child at the hands of Team Rocket. It's an encounter that shows us how dangerous Team Rocket truly is, that even the adults of this region fear. This isn't just a game about getting 8 badges and becoming the champion. We're literally a courageous hero. And I'm about to be a courageous hero that saw a green ghost. And I wonder how many people actually saw this thing green when they were playing through for the first time, thinking it was just a spectral Marowak and not anything special, when they actually found a crazy shiny. I really don't think the intro of FireRed and LeafGreen, the actual thesis statement, gets enough credit. In the world which you are about to enter, you will embark on a grand adventure with you as the hero. Speak to people and check things wherever you go, be it towns, roads, or caves. Gather information and hints from every source. New paths will open to you by helping people in need, overcoming challenges, and solving mysteries. At times you will be challenged by others and attacked by wild creatures. Be brave and keep pushing on. Through your adventure, we hope that you will interact with all sorts of people and achieve personal growth. That is our biggest objective. Press the A button and let your adventure begin. Yeah, that's right, they acknowledged the A button! But as an extra addendum here, I went into this thinking it was completely uncatchable. But then I learned that this is actually catchable in Generation 1 and Generation 3 with glitches. That all being said, I don't mind appreciating this as a fleeting moment. A Marowak that would get away forever. So that's what I chased after with it. An opportunity for reflection and personal growth. Anyway, here's the footage you're actually here for. Me playing through a new file with super mature names while getting an oil change. Because I wanted to skip the SSN on all 5 of the Badge Quest games. So I got the Cut HM, and traded Pokemon with Cut and Staryu with the Illuminate ability over to every game. Please appreciate my butt Pokemon on every game. I worked really hard for these nicknames. Then we made it through the treacherous rock tunnel. I'm a rambling gaming dude. That's me, I'm a rambler and I'm a gamer. Checked the button behind the poster in the game corner and took down Team Rocket for the first time. And then with the Sylph Scope in hand, the hunt could begin. And it was actually really fast. It's something where you can just do runaways. There's also some silly, wacky phase potential with this hunt too, where during the one frame where we turn around to head south and encounter the Marowak again, we have a chance of getting into a different encounter. We could phase on a catchable shiny during an uncatchable hunt, which is really funny. You can see 189 of these per hour, per game, and this entire hunt maybe took me only a little over 6 hours. Here's the moment Marowak decided to shine on March 8th. I think of Corbin Blue with male Combee. My sister caught a male Combee and named it Corbin Blue in 2007 and traded it to me. Speaking of Corbin Blue, he's like one of the most important people in history ever. The High School Musical star, according to a study that was done based off of Wikipedia articles, because someone kept translating his page into like hundreds of different languages on Bulbapedia. There's a whole video that Tor's Cabinet of Curiosities made about the topic. It's really funny. Does my sister still play Pokemon? Every now and then. She played through Violet. We did the Walking Wake and Iron Leaves raids together back in Christmas. Does my brother play Pokemon? He played very briefly. We all got Diamond and Pearl together in 2007. He had a Torterra named Frank and stuff, but that was the only one he ended up playing. Oh, that's a left Orberg. We got a Ghastly encounter. Shiny Marowak! Shiny Ghost of Marowak! Oh my gosh! No way! While Blue was gone! That is so cool! The Ghost was Marowak! The Ghost was Marowak! That is so sick! Alright, I guess let's get into the encounter. And let's show what happens when you try to catch it. Alright. Let's throw a Mega Ball. It dodged it! It dodged the thrown ball. This Pokemon can't be caught. Oh, we caught the Ghastly, though. That's cool. Will I do a Marowak reclaim? Perhaps when we get to Savalt Canyon later in the game. What an insane encounter. Alright, let's throw a Pokeball this time. Let's throw a Pokeball. Look at that footwork! It's got fancy footwork. This is crazy. Oh, critical hit. Bye-bye, Marowak. The ghost was the restless spirit of Cubone's mother. The mother spirit was calmed. It departed to the afterlife. Wow. Well, we just failed a shiny. But it was a really cool shiny to fail. So now to get a shiny we can actually keep, I'm going to reclaim my Abra in the game corner, in one of the fastest and most spammable shiny hunts in history. Historically, back when there used to be shiny hunting competitions during the summer and winter, this was a notorious hunt that some people would repeatedly do for points. The LeafGreen games are actually at a bit of an advantage on this hunt because Abra's a little bit cheaper, letting us purchase more every reset. Across all 5 games in total, every soft reset, we're seeing 356 Abra. It only takes 15 minutes to purchase them all. I quickly realized this wasn't much of a stream hunt since most of it was mashing the A button, so I kind of multitasked it. I also took a little bit of a break to go home and see my family for a couple days. I've also of course been playing a ton of Pokopia and taking it at my own super slow pace. But when I got back, I needed to do my taxes, so I multitasked with this hunt, and it all paid off on the morning of March 12th. Almost 5,000 now, let's give it a check. First check of the day. Doing my taxes. Get ready for the suspense to build up as you hear Abra's cry over and over again. Good. Box 3. Boom. 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 Oh, Shiny Abra! Shiny Abra! Oh, let's go! While I'm doing taxes! Bashful nature. It's back, and it's on the top left game. That puts that game at 3 points. That is nuts. That's crazy. Abra is home. Okay, well, let's not discount the possibility of there being a second one. So, let's look for that blue border again. If I get 2 at the same time, that's gonna be insane. Yeah, 4,984. We have a shiny Abra. So swag. Oh man, I could have not saved on the games that didn't get the shiny. Whatever. Alright, we got several normal Pokemon right here. Normal Pidgey on the top left, and the Abra teleported itself to the game corner. Now we can go to Lavender Town. We can actually give this thing a nickname too. I've got some training to do though. I want to evolve this up. And even though the point goes to this game, I think we're going to trade it to this game down here, out of pity. Because Alakazam's a trade evolution in the first place. That game is the one that failed it. I think it's right that the bottom left game is the game that gets to use the Abra. Oh, we're going to get Charizard. We're going to get Charizard. It's time. Look at that. That is so sick. Alright, get ready for the double shiny send out. Oh, that is sick. Alright, we're getting Kadabra now. Very, very quick evolution. Look at that. Not the most standout shiny in this generation, but when you look at it versus regular Kadabra, it looks solid. Normal Ekans. Shiny Kadabra. So now let's take a much needed visit to the Name Raider and make the trade before fighting Surge. Alright, let's yoink you. Let's yoink you. I thought for a while about it. I'm going with the name of my original Charizard from FireRed. We're going with Cole. And Abra's Japanese name is Casey. And we got this thing at a casino. So we're gonna name her Casey. No! So we're gonna get the trade done this way. I think this trade is meant to be, since Alakazam is a trade evolution anyway. But I actually traded it to the wrong switch. The Japanese game was never supposed to get this. Oops. Let's fight Lieutenant Surge. Get ready for the weird experience sound. After trade evolutions in Gen 3, it plays the experience sound. And it lingers for a while. It's really weird. Look at that! It's like we leveled up! I don't know why it does that specifically with trade evolutions. Oh, but that looks awesome. Having a low-level Alakazam is still crazy with how strong its special attack is. You can take on Kanto's badges in some pretty crazy orders, but I decided to do the Canon badge order for this badge quest. So next we will be fighting Erica, but first I have to go to the real-life Kanto region. With a point on the board for the top left game and the bottom right game for the Marowak, I set out for Japan, and came back ready for a new hunt. If you don't know what Snorlax is, you have a very rare and impressive gap in Pokemon knowledge, and I envy how much you still have to learn about the wondrous world of Pokemon. Snorlax has never been one of my top favorite Pokemon, but just like how it's an unavoidable roadblock in your Kanto journey, it feels impossible not to have some kind of connection with it, or not to love it in some way. Like, tell me you're not inspired by it taking almost 20 years to stand up. This thing loves to eat, and it loves to sleep, both of which being pastimes that I presume that we all do. Which instantly makes it more relatable than a Pokemon like Macargo, because as far as I'm aware, we're not mollusks, and we're not made of lava or magma depending on where we are in relation to the Earth's crust. And Snorlax's design is so simple yet recognizable that I feel like you can draw it in any way and people will know that it's a Snorlax. You could even, like, cover it in moss or something and people would still know. All this just to say, I just got back from Japan and I was worried I wouldn't get enough footage for this FireRed LeafGreen badge quest involving Snorlax there, but it turns out I couldn't do anything that wasn't related to Snorlax in some way. Walk into Pokemon Center, boom, Snorlax. Anything with Pokopia advertisements, boom, Snorlax. The greatest concert of my entire life featuring Hatsune Miku and Pokemon Voltage Live, there's a little Pokeflu reference, that's kind of a boom Snorlax moment. The newly opened Pokepark Kanto, boom, real Snorlax. Boom, Nurse Joy healing decapitated Snorlax. Boom, there's red Snorlax. Boom, the popcorn bucket was a Snorlax with a Pokeflute, and I had to get that and go through the ordeal of packing that in my suitcase. See a cool tree? Boom, Gigantamax Snorlax. Not everything I did was related to it, or so I thought. Turns out the Kirby Cafe is tangentially related to Snorlax, because Snorlax's Japanese name is Kabigon, which comes from Snorlax's inspiration, Nishino from Game Freak, who was nicknamed Kabi, like Kirby, because of his appetite. This is still a boom Snorlax moment. It felt surreal being able to go to the real-life Kanto region during the 30-year anniversary of Red and Green. And I figured that even though I wouldn't be packing all 5 of my switches I've been using on this quest, it would be a waste not to do an encounter there. I stayed around Shinjuku, which is geographically somewhere between Saffron and Celadon City. The real Celadon City would be a little bit further west in Setagaya, where the original Game Freak office was, but I feel like some of Shinjuku's influence is still there, especially with the Game Corner and the shady Team Rocket activities that go down there. I was close enough to being in the real-life Celadon City, so I set up my one Switch that I brought to do the first encounter of this hunt in Japan. Welcome to Celadon City. Somewhere around here, there's a sleeping Snorlax blocking the road, and we gotta get that thing shiny before taking on the next gym leader, Erica. Here it is. First reset of the hunt. Playing that song must have woken up every Snorlax in the city. Not shiny. We soft reset. And yeah, that was the one reset of this hunt that I did in Japan. Can't believe this thing teleported away from me all the way to Pokepark Kanto. But I had a really good time. It was awesome hanging with friends there like Blue Vector.
Dynamax Adventures!
But before I get back home, I want to talk about one of the coolest places I went on the entire trip. I went to Machida, the hometown of Satoshi Tajiri and the real-life inspiration for Pallet Town. Mountain Dew. Getting Mountain Dew in Pallet Town. I didn't even know they had a vending machine in Pallet Town. They don't even have like a Pokemon normally. Alright, so let's put in 10 yen. 100 yen, that's 110. And my sweet, sweet nectar. Oh, yeah. TM49, I believe that's Snatch. Once a quiet place out in the country where you could catch bugs during the summer, that has since fallen victim to urban sprawl. With the exception of a little park known as Sarigaya Park.
This is a completely different vibe. This is totally different now.
That still captures the essence of the old countryside there. This is the dream Pokemon was built on, to give Japanese kids an understanding of what those adventures felt like. And in this park, they have all 3 Kanto starters as Pokelids, as well as a few other friends. I had to show Rato her Japanese cousins. It was kind of surreal walking around here.
Don't wander into the tall grass.
Finally understanding why Beedrill was always seen as such a threat.
Professor Oak's words echoed. There's a time and place for everything, but not now.
And thinking about all the real-life Pokemon here. And I think they accomplished what they wanted to with this whole Pokemon thing. Because beyond just Japanese kids, they managed to reach some random kid in Louisiana who came out to this same park inspired to also catch some bugs.
This is a bummer to any Pokemon fans.
I knew I needed to go to the book off within walking distance of this park and buy one of the original Kanto games from the real-life Pallet Town. Very fittingly, both of the save files were saved in Pallet Town at the beginning of an adventure, and maybe I'll take these games on a grand adventure one day. But now let's go back home and start hunting Snorlax. They were advertising the game quite a bit, even at the Miku concert. They had like posters up advertising both Miku, like the new version of her, and Pokopia right next to each other. Even though the concert had nothing to do with Pokopia, it was like the advertised game since it's the newest one. It was really cool seeing like some of the signs for like FireRed, LeafGreen there. Felt like almost like anachronism, like I was back in 2004. I love all the like out of gym leader appearances in Heart Gold Soul Silver, like the weekly events and stuff. It makes the game feel so much more alive. Just having like, okay, you can like find Whitney at the mall and get her number, or you could like find, you know, people out training and stuff. I really loved that about Heart Gold. Collecting all the gym leaders in the post game. It's really cool. Once you challenge them to a rematch, and that gym in Shiny Snorlax on the Italian game. Shiny Snorlax on the Italian game already. 17-20. The Italian game stays winning. The Italian game stays winning. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. This puts the score at... Okay, wait, hold on. We have the points right up here. 3 points on the board to the Italian game. It takes the lead once again, tied with the top left game. Wow, that stands out a lot more than I thought. Wow. Okay, let's hit it with a quick attack. It just used Spadiglio. I don't know what that means. Alright. Mega Ball. Go. Let's see which game catches Snorlax first, too. Top right. Japanese game already caught it. Yeah, Mega Snorlax confirmed with the Mega Ball? Maybe. Reposo. Night-night Snorlax. Alright, now. It just used its Chesto Berry. So we're gonna go to fight. We're gonna quick attack it again. Oh wait, we're asleep. Thank you. Okay, there's the attack Rapido. Excellent. Now we get the sleep bonus. Now it's asleep. So, we can go to bag. We can toss another Mega Ball. Let's see if we can catch this thing. The Snorlax has got DRM protection right now. It's like a game key card. Broke out. It stayed. Caught it on the top left game. Alright, let's send out Jamie Page. Oh, we've got a really excellent nickname going right now. Ah! Look on the top left. Ah! Thank you. We got it. We caught all 5 Snorlax. Alright, we got... Ah! It's Scaltra. What's Scaltra? No, it's Impish. Plus defense, minus special attack. That's not bad. That's not bad. Normal Meowth on Decene. Ah! I'm like Guzzlord right now. Then, with our freshly caught Snorlax, I took on Erica to get our 4th badge. And it didn't do too badly. I didn't train it at all beforehand. Obviously, I'm going to have so much more to say about this Japan trip, but just like my 2023 trip, a lot of the footage will be in limbo for a while I decide what to do with it. The Italian game is going to be back on top now with the scores. But can it stay that way when next badge we're going to do some very stupid hunts? This section's not actually an ad, but let's see if YouTube flags it as one anyway.
But first, a message from this video's sponsor. Are there any skills you've always wanted to learn? Like learning how to program? I used to be a programmer. Do you ever get concerned about your safety while browsing the internet, trying to protect your information from hackers? Well, with today's video sponsor, you can learn and you don't even have to use the internet. Teachy TV. With this key item, you can learn key skills like how to catch a Pokemon, and the Pokedude will walk you through all of it. The coolest thing about it though, is that these Pokemon can be shiny. So for Shiny Collector's event Uncatchable Week, I decided I would use this product to find an uncatchable shiny to get another point to one of these games. I know the event's called Uncatchable Week, but I wanted to learn how to catch a Pokemon. Because this one's pretty sick. It's got like Jigglypuff and Butterfree, which are 2 of my favorites from Gen 1. And on the first day of Uncatchable Week, I found this.
Have I seen the hit cover I'm a Carbink? We were just talking about this earlier. I was there for the creation of that. That was for Skyfish Jack's AMV contest. All-time classic. Shout out to Mimiori, or Pokiori for that. My AMV had to compete against that in the contest, and I lost. Incredible song. Espeon floor? Nice, Magnemite. Best of luck on the pyramiding. Shiny Jigglypuff! Shiny Jigglypuff! And it doesn't sparkle! That's crazy! Oh! 3,460! That is so cool. Yeah, I was just wearing colored contacts and like it's just a little bit pinker. They had it like maybe roll around in like some flowers. Don't throw any Pokeballs right away. Oh. I do that all the time actually. Okay, let me throw my Pokeball. Alright, do it. This is supposed to be uncatchable week though. He's catching this thing. I guess we don't get to catch it, so it counts. It counts. It's a minor ball in Italian? It's a minor ball? Also, yeah, that's 4 points now. 4th point for the top left game. That's crazy. This game is on a generational run. Thank you, teaching television. If your first Pokeball fails to catch the Pokemon, don't give up. Keep throwing Pokeballs. It's bound to work sometime. Alrighty, be seeing you. Remember, trainers, a good deed today brings happiness to stay. And then he just walks off with the shiny Jigglypuff.
So yeah, don't be a pee-pee head like me. Be sure to get your Teachy TV from your key items and learn everything you need. Use code ABSOLVEBLOGS at checkout. Now back to today's video.
Now we need to shiny hunt something that I can actually keep. And that's still not guaranteed with where I'm hunting next. If you boot up any of my copies of FireRed LeafGreen, there's a very good chance that my save file will be parked in one spot. Fuchsia City right outside the Safari Zone. But on the Switch, FireRed and LeafGreen lets us hunt here in a brand new way that you can't normally do on the Game Boy Advance. In inverted colors. So just messing around in the accessibility or display settings to invert the colors can make this place where I've hunted so much in the past feel completely brand new. And I was gonna stay here until I actually caught a shiny on one of these games. With every shiny, win or fail, counting as a point towards the grand total to determine which game gets to take on the Elite Four with the all-shiny team. Here's how things went. Whose Wii crashed? Whoever was in the Sanctuary. But Faraway Island. Okay, everyone talks about the Faraway Island from Emerald, but what do y'all know about the Faraway Island from Pokemon Channel? Is that Shiny Execute? Shiny Execute! Shiny Execute! Channel. Is that Shiny Execute? Shiny Execute! Shiny Execute! What? It's blue! On the Italian game, too! That's crazy! That's not as different as I thought it would be. But the question is, do we catch it? That's the ultimate question, because these things run a lot. Alright, let's throw a ball and see if we can get it. The Safari Ball is blue as well. Broke out? It stayed. Ball 2. 1, 2, horse. It stayed. It stayed. I liked how the Italian game said grrr whenever it broke out. Like, got angry. Alright, Safari Ball. Broke out. Stayed. Whew, it's staying. This is crazy. We're filling out the Pokédex too, except for the game with the other Execute. One shake. It stayed. Oh my gosh. It is putting up a fight right now. Do I get to take on Koga? It broke out. It stayed. It stayed again. This is nuts. One shake. Broke out. It stayed. This is... I don't think I've had an Execute stay this long before. And it's putting up a fight still. It still stayed. Oh, Farewell, Execute. Man, at least we got some AA batteries. But another point for the Italian game. Italian game is now in the lead again. It makes me sad that in the Switch era, you can't buy like a used Pokemon game and have someone save on it. The best you can do is buy a used Switch and hope they didn't transfer their file off of it. And that just doesn't hit the same. You found a shiny Rhyhorn? Oh, yeah, that one, it tends to run a lot. It's cool to see that, though, especially just randomly finding a Safari shiny. Happened to me once with an Execute when I was, like, playing through on a Game Boy Micro trying to get up to the roamers. It's crazy. It also fled. I got a random Great Marsh shiny on my first Diamond file, and it was a Bibarel, and I actually caught that. Yeah, 2 years is a long while to wait, but that really might be the next time we get Zarude. I guess Victini will be released in Go at some point. Still waiting on Fiona and Manaphy, though. Or did we already get Victini in Go? I think we might have. Wait, that's Shiny Rhyhorn! Or did we already get Victini in Go? I think we might have. I was distracted, I didn't see it sparkle. I was looking at the 1999 Toyota Corolla. This image almost made me run from that. Alright, let's see if we catch it, though. That is another point for this game. Ball. Let's see if it runs or not. 12,405. Broke out. It stayed. Ball. 1, 2, 3. And we caught it! We caught it! Bottom left game just got a 1999 Toyota Corolla. We caught everything on all 5 games. That's kind of nuts. These are all going to collectively be... Yeah, we got 1999 Corolla. Regular Oddish. Look how that looks. That looks insane. And... 1993 Toyota Corolla. Brave. Then after a little level grinding off some trainers, my 1999 Corolla that I accidentally called 93 a second ago, I know I'm stupid, evolved into a Rhydon. Which doesn't look all that interesting inverted, but in regular colors it's an insane shiny. I taught this thing Surf and then took on Koga. At this point my teams aren't as uniform across all these games as they were at the beginning, so maybe doing everything with one controller isn't the best for regular gameplay. Just gotta save that for the shiny hunting. Just south of your home in Pallet Town, there's this interesting patch of grass that no NPC in the game talks about, on Route 21. A place that you can only access later once you have the ability to surf. In the original Red and Blue, this place has quite a bit of biodiversity, while also being the sole home of Tangela. In Gold and Silver, however, which takes place years after Red and Blue, in what might be some really interesting environmental storytelling, this route is over 90% Tangela, having become overgrown, an area that with very little human intervention was taken over by these vines. Likely due to the eruption of Cinnabar Island to the south. The reasoning behind this is never explicitly stated, and this could just be a game design decision to more immediately reward the player for checking this spot out, like they did with the 100% Tangela here in FireRed LeafGreen, but I think there's some actual merit to this interpretation, especially considering Professor Tangrowth's role in Pokopia. Without getting too far into spoilers, they're kind of like the symbol of resilience and survival. These vines that have managed to persist. And this carries over pretty well to what I've always associated Tangela with, growing up in the southern United States, kudzu. A vine that's maybe too resilient here. I never really used to think too much of it until one of my cousins visited from out of state when I was really little, obsessed with kudzu, finding it so fascinating. And then I played this game called Sim Park where it was treated as a disaster on the same level as Alien Invasion. Like with most plants and animals, you can get this nice little description of them.
This is a sedge. He is thriving.
But with kudzu, you get this. So I became really fascinated with this vine. Like, why is it such a disaster? And over time, I learned it was something that was originally introduced to help farmers. But with no natural predators in the United States, like the kudzu bug, where it's native to in Asia, which ironically has become its own invasive pest in the United States now, it grows wildly out of control, completely stuffing out the sunlight from any plants beneath it, and forming these hauntingly interesting structures. And I can't help but imagine them having eyes and little red shoes like Tangela. It's an ecological disaster where only the kudzu itself can thrive, like the 100% Tangela encounter rate on Route 21. I know I'm kind of just yammering on about something that was probably just a decision to make Tangela easier to catch here and to reward players, but I like thinking about the storytelling with it. And even though the game was clearly not designed with my southern US perspective in mind, nor do I think that was even the original inspiration at all, I've always had a special place in my heart for Tangela and Tangrowth, and I was really happy to see them represented as the survivor in Pokopia. In a way, it serves as a reminder to me of our human mistakes in the real world, introducing this invasive species that could theoretically run completely out of check after we're gone. And anyway, I've always really liked Tangela a lot, but I've never really used it on a team before, ever. Not even its evolved form, Tangrowth, that's been around for almost 20 years now. So I decided for my badge quest, I would shiny hunt a Tangela here. Very nice and simple, random encounter hunt. And much like kudzu, cats grew out of control and took over my stream layout that day. And here's what happened. You know, I used to think that fruit by the foot, the snack, was called that when I was like 4 years old. I thought that like they were claiming that the snack was so long that if you fully stretched it out, it would go all the way down to your feet. And I was like, I'm getting scammed. I was like, they're shorting us on this. It's not even by my foot. Very similar to how I misheard Outback Steakhouse. And I heard it as Outback Stay Cows. And I thought that they kept cows at the back of that place, and they were lying. I went to the back of the Outback Steakhouse, and I didn't see a single cow. And I thought that we were in a really, really shady spot for that reason. I didn't trust that place. Let's see, other misconceptions. I know I've told this a million times, but because of the clientele that I always saw walking into Hooters, like just a bunch of guys on motorcycles and on trucks, shiny Tangela! I thought it was a hardware store. I thought Hooters was a hardware store. Shiny Tangela! No way. 8,945. Let's use some Ultra Balls. We just got Ultra Balls. We're stocked up. Honestly, Nest Ball would be really good for this thing. Dang, instant breakout. It's growing! This is the first Pokemon that the bottom right game has kept. Because the other shiny that this game found was merely but the Ghost of Marowak. Uncatchable. What a good looking shiny. The shoes are a little bit different too. The shoes are like magenta. There we go, we caught it. Hardware. It's relaxed. Just relaxing at the hardware store, Hooters. We got shiny hardware. Look at that back sprite. Oh, that's awesome. That's some excellent sprite work. Look, it's Professor Tangrowth. It's Professor Tangrowth. I decided to EV train this thing in defense, which is perfect to do off the 100% Tangela here. And, well... Dude, what the heck? Dude, what the heck? What the heck? I was EV training. What the heck? What the heck? Oh, wait, I can do this. I can do this. You have to be kidding me. I'm EV training my Tangela and like another one. Dude, what the heck? Oh my gosh. What on earth, dude? What on earth, man? How? Oh, if only I had that reaction recorded. I was shiny hunting in my Ruby badge quest on the side here, hoping for a Duskull or something, but that's another point for bottom right game. Same game as the first one. We have 2 Tangela now. What an insane development. What the heck? You know, I would name her like Hooters or something, but I'm gonna name her after the other topic of this video that I almost debated renaming hardware to. I'm gonna name her Kudzu. Oh my gosh, you have to be kidding me. Nature guess mild. She's Lax. Shout out to Blue Vector. And now, since my Pokemon teams are very different across every game, I would just handle 2 at a time, going through the story events of Silphco and taking on the next gym leader, Sabrina. Hit him with the tickle! Hit him with the tickle! It gets this move at level 43. Yeah! This has been a really fun journey for me so far, and I'm starting to really appreciate the fact that I can't just play through all the games with one controller very easily. Save that for the hunts. 6 badges on every game. Now for the next badge, we're going to the gym next door. What's up everyone, it's Absol. Today I'm answering the age-old question, how do you play FireRed with boxing gloves on? But before we get to that and fight Blaine wearing boxing gloves, I gotta talk about these blue gloves in general. I don't normally go into a shiny hunt with a nickname already picked out, but when I knew I was going after Hitmonchan and FireRed and LeafGreen who gets these mean blue gloves when it's shiny, there's one guy I gotta name it after. My dad, Mr. Blue Gloves. My dad and my brother are very much car guys. I'm more of a Pokemon guy myself, but I still enjoy a good trip up to the junkyard whenever I visit.
What's up, YouTube?
Someone, I think, made this girl. Look at those inserts.
I don't see how they could have made that.
To unearth all kinds of interesting treasures. I can never predict what we're gonna find.
Fortnite.
And to search for the Vistion portable dockable entertainment system. The car DVD player with a Game Boy Advance slot. Still haven't found one yet, but it's always a good trip when I'm with my dad.
Hello there. JRB. JRB Restorations. Prior to being JRB of JRB Restorations, I was known as the original Mr. Blue Gloves. Mr. Blue Gloves, you say? Why would you be Mr. Blue Gloves? Well, in my younger days, when I was an MRI technologist taking care of patients in hospitals and outpatient clinics, I also still loved to work on cars and go to junkyards and see what I could find to help restore and fix classic vehicles. I didn't want to get my hands dirty. So that's when I found these blue gloves. On the weekends, drive over to junkyards to look for parts. I would always have a set of blue gloves in my tool bag so that I can get my hands all dirty, because there's nothing worse than coming into a hospital or into a clinic and having someone with greasy, dirty hands shaking your hand and taking care of you. So I protected them with blue gloves. But how did I get called Mr. Blue Gloves? Well, there were 3 places that I frequented quite often and got to know the people that were working in there and owned the facility. At least every other weekend, I was in there searching for parts. And it got to the point where one day I walked in and I said, "Good morning." And they looked over and they said, "Good morning, Mr. Blue Gloves is here." So I became Mr. Blue Gloves. And to this day, I still wear my blue gloves because they keep my hands clean, and I'm Mr. Blue Gloves, also known as JRB of JRB Restorations. Thanks.
And that's my dad, the real Mr. Blue Gloves, JRB Restorations. He makes videos too about classic cars. He's the most knowledgeable guy that I know about that kind of stuff, and he's awesome because he's my dad. So go check out his channel and subscribe to him, or I'm going to punch you in Minecraft. Happy early Father's Day, Dad. I know you're watching this. Thanks so much for recording that for me. Now let's talk about the hunt for Mr. Blue Gloves, the Hitmonchan. This hunt took a while, and no, I did not hunt it wearing boxing gloves. After an insane luck streak throughout this entire badge quest, this felt like the real equalizer hunt, the one that went to absurd numbers. Will this finally be the first shiny that the Japanese game finds? Let's find out. I decided I'd check out with Heatran and spend yesterday working on the video. I had a lot of fun with that video. I watched Catherine's Dustox video and I felt really inspired to make sure it was more than just a regular compilation, you know? I love telling stories with shinies and stuff. It's really time-consuming. Yeah, the fights were really awesome in it, but I feel like it doesn't respect the player's time, which is a sentiment that I've seen from a lot of people. And I think the ultimate lack of respect from time doesn't even come from, like, the repetitive grind of getting points and stuff. It comes from the fact that there's autosave that's forced. And it feels like people get the most enjoyment out of the DLC by bypassing that autosave whenever a donut gets made. And to me, that's just, like, bad design. If, like, the entire, like, RNG system is something that, like, has to be save scum for you to enjoy it in the first place. Hey, what's up, Marker? I've been obsessed with the Pokemon Learning League videos after finding that little magazine article about it yesterday. Shunny Hitmonchan! Shunny Hitmonchan, Mr. Blue Gloves! On the top left game! 25,055! The Learning League brought it in! Oh my gosh! That was so fast! First 5 minutes of stream! Did I say it was fast? I mean, it was fast for today's session. I was ready to sit down for a few hours. Mr. Blue Gloves. I trained him up in his very best stat, Special Attack. Because Fire Punch, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch are all special moves in Gen 3. Things are about to get interesting here. Blaine's Gym. Call me Mr. Blue Gloves. How do I even pick up this Pro Controller? Oh. This is the strat. Look at this. Look at this. This is insane. Alright, so we go up. Alright. Let's take a quiz. Alright. Get it right and the door opens. Get it wrong and face a trainer. Alright, let's do this. Caterpie evolves into Metapod. Yes! I'm absolutely correct. Let's go. I thought the thumb part here would disconnect and be a little bit more tactile. It's joined together. I had no idea they were joined together. Alright, alright. So, now... Alright, okay. There's the second guy. And the third guy. This is a double whammy, so I gotta make sure I input the buttons right here. Pokemon quiz. Get it right and the door opens to the next room. Get it wrong and face a trainer. Let's do this. Come on. There are 9 certified. Let's go! I'm impressed that I'm not, like, accidentally punching all 4 face buttons at once, which would result in a soft reset. The control stick is super handy, too. I don't think I'd be able to do this with a D-pad. Poliwag evolves 3 times. No. Oh, what if that becomes wrong one day? What if that's why we don't have Mega Poliwrath or Politoed? That would be a pretty crazy revision. Alright. Are electric moves effective against ground-type Pokemon? I'm punching that in. No! They don't work. Oh! Oh, my grip. My grip. Okay. Check out this stick movement. My stick jabs. Alright, Pokemon quiz. Yes, they're not identical. Natures. EVs. IVs. Moves. Ribbons. These little quiz machines kind of look like robot faces. Tombstoney, my favorite move. But it's not real. I want it to be. It needs to be. If any Pokemon learned Tombstoney, it would have been Houndstone. And here we go, the Quizmaster himself. Let's fight Blaine. Ha! I am Blaine, the Red Hot Gym Leader. You better have a burn heal. I have blue gloves. I have blue gloves, Blaine. Alright. Growlithe. As they say in the Pokerap. Alright. Intimidate. That's gonna be tough. But we are max attack. Sky Uppercut. Alright. Alright. Pretty good start. Pretty good start. Level 64. Ponyta. I precisely pressed the B button that time. New tech unlocked. Alright. Sky Uppercut. We don't need move animations. I am the move animation. I just need to make sure I don't press all 4 face buttons. That would be sad. Pressed B again. I pressed B again. Alright, let's punch it in once again. I don't even know if that's proper uppercut technique. It's probably not at all. Alright. Arcanine. We're gonna get hit with the Intimidate again, but I'm more intimidating, low-key. Alright. Ooh. Fire Blast coming through. That's fine. We did it. We have defeated Glane. Glane? Who's that? Wearing boxing gloves. Burned down to nothing. Not even ashes remain. We did it. Once again, the top left game takes the lead. With 1 badge left, I wonder if the Japanese game will find anything at all. There are several Pokemon that could kind of be considered threats to humanity, sometimes in a really humorous and endearing way. But the original threat to humanity, that doesn't really even have any humor surrounding it at all, is Hypno. This thing just wants to eat your dreams. I think Hypno is one of the most difficult species of Pokemon for people to just look at, point, and say, "Friend." It's simply in Hypno's nature to randomly hypnotize and put things to sleep so it can eat their dreams to survive, which really challenges the peaceful coexistence between people and Pokemon. It's a lot harder to imagine living alongside a Hypno than having a Hoppip just peacefully nest outside your window. And its reputation over the years has not been helped with it being known as the Pokemon that's abducted children before. I wonder why we never got this shirt in the US. And yet people still call poor sweet Mr. Mime the creepy one. They've tried to redeem it a little bit in recent years, talking about how it's a good sleep aid for people with insomnia and has medical purposes, even being used by sweet Nurse Miriam in Scarlet and Violet. But it still feels like a Pokemon they've been quietly tucking away, with the Hypno spawner in Area 0 being one of the most obscure spawns in the entire game. Also, what's up with the Dex entry calling it PSI moves? When Black and White first came out and all the Gen 1ers were like, oh no, all of these 150 Pokemon are gonna replace my 150 Pokemon. I feel like they actually did with Hypno. And I don't mean that in a sinister way or anything. Munna and Musharna are just more marketable and less controversial, being based on the exact same dream-eating Baku as Drowsy and Hypno. They make appearances in the Pokemon game that's entirely about sleep, while Drowsy and Hypno are still currently absent. They showed up in the Mega Dimension DLC, which is also about dreams. Drowsy and Hypno didn't. Munna and Musharna exist so Hypno never strays away from what it was meant to be. A dangerous Pokemon that only the bravest trainers can befriend. The only Pokemon episode VHS I had growing up had the Hypno episode on it, where a fan club of people were using it for sleep aid, not realizing that they were also hypnotizing a lot of the children and Pokemon in the town in the process. Hypno poses a challenge to trainers, and I want to rise up to the challenge by shiny hunting the unique encounter for one in FireRed and LeafGreen, where it's literally scaring a little girl in the woods. I want to befriend this Hypno, and find it shiny, and lead it down a path to a good life with people and Pokemon.
Level 100.
It's funny, Ben, like, appeared for a second.
I heard him say, and then
yeah, and then left.
Someone just subbed to me. I got the sub notification while recording. McPhilly08, this Hypno's for you. Oh, and it's yellow. It would be so funny if it was shiny then. If I get the shiny tonight, I'm including that. McPhilly08. They sub for 3 months in advance.
While you're not even live, that's crazy. Maybe they just didn't want their name read out loud on stream.
What? Shiny Hypno! Shiny Hypno!
What? No!
Shout out to McPhilly08!
There's no way!
That's insane! That's crazy! It's on the bottom left game. Oh, let's go.
Oh my goodness.
1999 Corolla. Alright, let's see which game catches it first. Alright, we got the Ultra Ball. It's still the Ultra Ball in Italian. That's interesting.
No shot.
It happened, Ben. Like,
No shot.
so
I
quickly.
got the Snapchat. I'm like, what?
yeah. I was just talking about, like, how someone had subbed offline, and I was like, what the heck? Someone just subscribed. And I was like, if maybe I'll include it in the video if I get Hypno tonight. Shout out to McPhilly08, and then it showed up.
That's
I think I gotta name it McPhilly. Oh, we caught it. We caught it. That easy.
Hey, it's just that easy, folks.
Dang, bottom left game is stacked with the psychic types. It's the same game that has my Alakazam.
More than 10 times quicker than Hitmonchan. How about that?
That's insane to think about, actually. That is nuts. It's important to note that Lostel wasn't led here by Hypno. She just saw one while picking berries. What's your name? Lostel's scared. I forgot she speaks in the third person. I don't know if I've ever met a kid who actually does that.
I don't know if I have either.
Listen, listen, please show me you. Oh, she's speaking in the first person now. She's saying show me, not show Lostel. So, what the heck? There he is, McPhilly. Relaxed. So relaxed. That is so insanely cool looking. Then I did a super chill stream getting its special attack up in the Pokemon Tower. I don't know if I've encountered McPhilly08 in the chat yet, but shout out to you. And then, watching that first VHS tape with Hypno on it, I took on Giovanni's gym. And since this is our 8th and final badge, next we'll be taking on the Pokemon League, with the game that got the most points over this badge quest. And if you've been paying attention, you know which game already won. It's the top left game. But I decided to give every game an extra chance, just in case I found a shiny in Victory Road on the way, or while trying to catch the 60 Pokemon we need to unlock the National Dex. As tedious as it can feel, collecting these 60 Pokemon to get the National Dex is actually one of my favorite parts of this game. I love strategizing the way I'm going to catch all the Pokemon needed for it. And I always go out of my way to avoid some of the freebie one-time gift Pokemon like Lapras and Eevee, because the inner shiny hunter in me always wants to leave those open for another shiny hunt if I can. I always try to get one of the Safari Zone rares. Then after the Safari Zone, I go to some combination of the Power Plant, the Pokemon Tower, Rock Tunnel, the Pokemon Mansion, and then finally Celadon City for some Stone Evolutions. I didn't find any bonus shinies doing this on all 5 games. June 28th, really been procrastinating finishing this badge quest. But good news for those of you who don't eat butter. My final team is butter-free. And it's also butter-free free. So maybe it is actually bad news. If you're butter-free free, that has butter. It cancels out. It's like a double negative. I gotta decide what 6 shiny butters are going to make up my team, which is a really difficult decision. So I have an unbiased third party right here. My favorite Generation 1 Pokemon that didn't make the team. What 6 Pokemon are gonna go on my team? It seems Butterfree has decided. All right, this is the squad right here. We got Cole, the Charizard. Then we have Jamie Page from the Italian file. Flavor Foley at this point with 3 of them. 1999 Corolla from the Safari Zone, from the bottom left game. We have Hardware from the bottom right game, the Tangela. Mr. Blue Gloves from this very file. And McPhilly. Alright, we got Lorelei's ice types up first. She's gonna buy a new plush because of us after this. And she's gonna buy a plush of Mr. Blue Gloves, because he's gonna be punching her team out. Time for the coolest move in the game. That animation is so cool. Ever since I was a kid, I just thought Sky Uppercut was the sickest thing ever. Alright, for Slowbro, I think we gotta break out Hardware for this. Hit it with the Tickle. I mean the Mega Drain. I was just thinking about the move Tickle, but that is not a good move in this scenario here. It's probably gonna Amnesia. I had to deal with some consecutive yawns when I was switching out in this fight. Maybe because the Slowbro had used Amnesia so much, it forgot that it already yawned. There goes Slowbro. That has to be a crit, right? No, it just goes down to that. That's crazy. Alright, Mr. Blue Gloves. Clean up. Miss! Lovely miss. Oh! Once Cole cleaned up her only Pokemon that's actually weak to fire, it's time to fight Bruno. Bruno time. Hoo-ha! Get ready for him to say hoo-ha. There he is. There's a hoo-ha. Also, I just had a crazy idea that I'm definitely going to do. But we're going to have to wait till the rival battle at the end for it. The champion battle will be done on a different piece of hardware. And I'm not talking a different Tangela. Oh, Hitmonchan? As much as I could... No, I'll bring out McPhilly, actually. McPhilly needs some EXP. It would be really cool to have the Hitmonchan versus Hitmonchan fight, though. It's risky, though, because this thing runs counter. Alright, Psychic. Oh, now we're getting hit by the coolest move. This is where Adamant Charizard proves its worth. Alright, let's get a little Corolla action. Oh no, I meant to use Surf. I misclicked. Not a good move. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. We'll be good. We'll be good. Check this out. After thankfully not being disproven with a cosmic critical hit, we defeated Bruno to take on Agatha next. This fight can prove to be very annoying if you're slower and don't have good psychic moves. Thankfully I have McPhilly on my side, though he's a little bit under-leveled. So I couldn't fully rely on him the entire battle. But you know who is reliable? A 1999 Toyota Corolla. So many of those are still on the road today. This is not sponsored. They're just reliable cars. I don't know what to say. Also, I will be taking on the Elite Four on all the other games, because I want to hunt Deoxys, Ho-Oh, and Lugia across all 5 of them in the post-game. This was actually one of the files where I struggled with Agatha the least. Only with the Alakazam game making it truly a breeze. Lance time. It's Mr. Blue Gloves' time to shine, really, here. Ice Punch and Thunder Punch will carry us to victory. Mr. Blue Gloves? Mr. Glue? Hey guys, I found a glue! Is going to destroy him with just his fists. No, Mr. Blue Gloves! Rock blast him. Let's go, Corolla. I think we have fighting type hidden power, if I remember correctly. Yeah. That did not do a lot. Go, my 1999 Corolla. Alright. It's time to swap over to the other setup. This is the TV tuner cartridge. Yes, this is the cartridge. This is what actually goes into the Game Boy. It has AV in, off and on switch. Yeah, you actually have to like plug it in and turn it on. It can also be battery powered actually. But we're gonna slide this bad boy in. This was my first SP. I played a lot of my first FireRed file on this. We're gonna set this all up. Oh yeah, it's just like the original. Look at it, we're on a Game Boy. Yeah, this is normal. This looks so normal. And now, it's time to fight our rival. Hey Absol, I was looking forward to seeing you. Absol, my rival should be strong and keep me sharp. We're working on my Pokédex. I looked all over for Pokemon. Not only that, I assembled teams that would beat any Pokemon type. And now, I'm the Pokemon League champion. Absol, do you know what that means? I'll tell you. I am the most powerful trainer in the world! Banger battle theme incoming. Being played through like the smallest speakers ever. Pidgeot. I remember hearing about someone pronouncing it as Pidgeot once, and I think about that pronunciation a lot. Oh, there's the feather dance. Well played. You got this, Corolla. Look, not a single Rock Blast miss. That's the power of the 1999 Corolla. A nice and reliable automobile. Get you wherever you need to go. Including the Hall of Fame. Level 52. Oh, Ride-On battle. Honestly, wait, we have Surf. So, we could do Ride-On versus Ride-On. Kind of sick, honestly. It's gonna try and quake us, but we're a 1999 Corolla. We can tank that. We've been in worse accidents. Okay, actually, we can't tank that. I guess the 1999 Corolla is showing its age. Alright, let's send out some hardware to dismantle this Ride-On with a Mega Drain. Arcanine, Puppy. Sounds like a job for Jamie Page. Earthquake. I'm so used to it being Terremoto. Terremoto, however you pronounce it, in Italian. Terremoto. This is from the Italian file. Ooh, extreme speed. Touché. Well played. Alright, let's send out Cole. There's the fly. Taken down. Next up, we got Blastoise, the starter. I think once again, it's time to bring out the hardware. Gonna dismantle this thing real quick. Disassemble it. Little Hydro Pump action. I've always loved that animation in Gen 3. Little bit of drainage. Not bad, not bad. Kind of crazy that this is off a Mega Drain and not Giga Drain too. Ooh, Rain Dance. That's gonna be bad if we send out Cole again. It's so wobbly on the screen. I can feel the tension as it wobbles. Alright, time for my ultimate move. Tickle attack. Oh, I actually didn't expect another full restore. Look at that. Powerful. I think people are actually using that move in competitive right now in Champions with Megastar Raptor, which is so funny. I never thought I'd see the day when people were using Tickle. Ooh, was that a crit? No, that was just a straight up Hydro Pump. Wow. Alright, no more games. If only we had Overgrow. Oh, the rain stopped. That's right, it was rain boosted Hydro Pump. That's why it was so strong. Ah, but down goes hardware. I think next is a job for Mr. Blue Gloves. Thunder Punch. Show us that abysmal special attack stat. Beautiful. Paralyze? No paralysis. Oh, and dang, we get the Rain Dance too. That's no good. Little Thunder Punch action. Alakazam. We'll send out McPhilly. Let everyone get a piece of the action here. Headbutt. Dang, that did not do as much as I hoped it would. I should have EV trained McPhilly in attack. I really just called it a day with the special attack. I called it a special day. Also, we're only level 48, so that's not helping much either. But if I can wait out the rain, it's good that we kind of stall it out a bit here. And I don't think this thing has any water moves, so send out Cole. Okay, the rain stopped. Oh, the Reflect comes out, dang. Doesn't matter, we're adamant. Let's show the power of Cole. Are we speed tied? We might be speed tied. That's kind of crazy. Okay, down goes Alakazam. Executor. Flamethrower. Then we got Mr. Blue Gloves in the back with Fire Punch if this doesn't finish it off. Oh, but we do. I think Blaze activated there. Excellent. And we did it. We're the champion. Look at that. The Pokeball icon. Time for one of my favorite screens. Corolla. Jamie. McPhilly. Mr. Blue Gloves. Coal. Hardware. Look at that. Proof I'm on a Switch, by the way, with that right there. Let's go. Time for the wonderful credit sequence. The journey home. Now let's look back on the journey. Over the course of a few months, I did 77,875 encounters and found 14 shinies, bringing us to an incredible average of 5,562 encounters per shiny. The Japanese game that never found any shinies is currently sitting at around a 15,000 encounter drought. I did end up trading all of the shinies back to their original files so each game could get a cool Hall of Fame. And the shinies happen to be very strong and helpful for doing that. I think out of all of these, the Italian game had the most insane showdown, also done on the Game Boy SP, and I think I need to upload this as a video. Look forward to that showdown on the second channel. Overall, this has been another super fun badge quest to do, and a pretty easy one all things considered. I recently also just finished another badge quest in Ruby that has taken me much longer. So look forward to that movie sometime soon for something that's gonna feel totally different from this. I hope you still enjoyed though, and if you want more, once you finish the game on the Switch, the Mystic Ticket and Aurora Ticket are quietly slipped into your bag, with no additional dialogue likely to not change the ESRB rating of the game due to gambling in the game corner. But this addition is huge because it lets us naturally hunt Ho-Oh, Lugia, and Deoxys with no cheating or no glitches. And you bet I'm gonna do that as a bonus episode, to see if the drought finally ends on that Japanese game. I'll also be streaming it all on my Twitch. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Never stop going on Pokemon adventures. Good luck on your hunts, and I'll see you next time. Fine! Okay, whatever, fine!